Alright, hi, welcome to this LMMS tutorial. Again, I'm going to try and make things quick. So right off the bat, up here's our buttons. This is where you change the BPM, this is your song time, time signature, master volume, master pitch, and this will show you the waveform your song is and the amount of CPU usage, which is good to know. You got your controller rack right here, which you can add controllers to. I will get into that in a bit. You got your effects mixer, just your mixer track down here. This is where you apply all your effects and mix things. And up here is like where the real nitty gritty comes in. This is where you put down your instruments and shit. I'm just going to get rid of all of these by clicking this little gear and press and remove this track. And now we have an empty song. So how do we add instruments? Well, we would come over to this left thing here. We'd click the top one, and then we got all of our stock instruments. And well, let's see. We might as well just use a triple oscillator. So throw that in there. And now we have our triple oscillator. Now, I would tell you how this thing works, but honestly, it's just best to figure things out by playing around with it. So I'm just going to try some things. Okay, cool. We can work with that. So now we have our instrument. I want to assign it to a mixer track. So how do we go about that? Well, we go down to the mixer, press this big old plus icon, and now it's called. It has a 1 on it. So then we click this and we say, oh, look, and effects. So I want to bump this up to 1, and now it's on mixer track 1. You'll see volume coming from mixer track 1. Cool. I'm going to rename this by double clicking it. Oscillator. And well, now I want to add some effects to it. So how do we go about that? Well, first we got to enable the effect chain by pressing this little button. I'm going to add an effect. We got all sorts of shit here. I'm just going to use some delay. Alright, this is our delay thing. I don't really know how this works, but I'm just going to play with knobs. Okay, so we don't want that much delay. A little bit of feedback. Do more. That's kind of a shitty delay plugin. Let's see. What was one of the other ones? Delayorama. Okay. Hmm. Mind telling me how hard it is just to find a goddamn delay plugin? It's fine. That'll work. Okay, fine. So now that we have our thing on here, we can just add like, I think how many effects you want. Let's just try out. Okay, yeah, you can add as many as you want. Cool. Alright, that took a bit longer to do than I intended, but it's fine. We got our instrument here. Um, so now how do we go about adding notes? Well, to do that, we'd have to click this thing here. These are your patterns, I guess. Just double click it, and it brings up the piano roll. Okay, this piano roll functions a lot like the one in FL Studio. This whole program is a lot like a discount FL Studio, actually. So I'm just gonna place down some notes using left click. Dog shit, actually. Too much. That's not due delay, actually. Let's just, oh, you know what, let's just use a flanger, sure. Doesn't sound like a fucking flanger. What the fuck? Why are your plugins so dog ass? Come on. I just want a simple fucking fine. You know you can't go wrong with a phaser, right? I'm not impressed, LMMS. Get better plugins, please. This shit is so easy in FL. Just give me a phaser. So you can now take this in the song editor. You can press Control, and the Control click, drag it over, right click, get rid of it, shift around or something, just stuff like that. Now, let's say that I wanted to make it so that when I played it, at first it'd start quiet and then get loud. Well, how do I do that in time with the song? Well, to do that, we'd use a thing called an automation clip, or just automation. So how it works here is that it's its own track. So we add one of those. I'm just going to put this as oscillator volume, because that's what we want to automate. Then we click here and drag it out, and you'll see that it says drag a control while pressing Control. Okay, well, let's do that. I want to control the volume, so I'm going to press Control on this thing. I'm going to, oh, look at that. It brings up a little icon, and I can put that on there, and bam, I got that. I got a volume track. So I'm going to click here, just place a node. I'm going to take this one, drag it down, and it's like, oh, but I don't want it to be like this. I want it to be a slope. Well, we would just press this button up here to do that. Bam, slope. Maybe you want some tension? Cool, we got that. Just gotta, it's a little finicky, but kind of works. Yeah, you can do that with basically any parameter. If you're using a third-party plugin, like this reverb plugin I have, looks like this. It's pretty cool. How does that sound actually? I don't know. To do it, you just press this little wrench, and then it gives you all of the plugin parameters. Not everyone has this, but this one just so happens to. So, just close that and get rid of that. So, next, I suppose we should talk about let's see, the drum and bass thing. Yeah, beat bass line. This is like your step sequencer in FL. It's a little finicky, but it does work. So, I think what I gotta do is, let's see, if I want to add samples of my own, I gotta drag in the sampler, and then I can, let's see, take this 909 that I've exported. So, okay, cool. So, this is a little bit not punchy, so I'm gonna turn up the gain a little bit, and I'm gonna turn down the. Let's see. Turn down the volume on this just a little bit. I want to add like a little bit of a hi-hat. Well, I could just very quickly do that with 3x osc. Just a little bit of like turn off the noise channels and put the amount of this all the way to the left there. Turn out the sustain all the way down. Put the sustain all the way bottom. Cool. It's pretty straightforward to use this thing. It's like its own little song editor, and then you can just place that there and. Okay, so now that we have that, we can talk about. Let's see, what other things are there to talk about with LMS? I guess we can talk about how the sample track works. Alright, this is like the one thing that I really don't like about LMS is how it handles audio. With FL and I guess every other DAW, it's a lot more flexible, but here in LMS you're like bound to these. So what you do is that you would double click, like you would load a sample track, you'd click one of these things and you double click it. You would go over to find your downloads, your samples. I'm just going to use something, fucking, just use A. So like, yeah, I'm bound to what it has here. I can't really, like, there's no customizability. It's just, I'm just stuck to the measures, which I really don't like. So I'd use like another program for the audio editing, quite honestly. It's not great here, but it is great. Well, I guess not a lot, but so fuck. What else to talk about? Well, I suppose we can talk about how to add in VSTs. VST is just basically like a third-party instrument, for those who don't know. I'll put a pack that I made down in the description full of a bunch of legally free VSTs that you can use at your disposal. And to use those, you would go to the folder that they install to, which I just happen to like pretty much move everything to one to make this easier. I drag it down, and they are DLL files. That's what VSTs come as. So let's say I want to use Vital. It's a free synth that I put in the pack below. So what I would do, I would just drag it over onto the track, and there it is. Just gonna choose a very simple preset. Make sure you don't drag it up here, else you're not really gonna be able to get it back. So you just wanna fucking bass. Do this one I made. we can go with that. So you do the thing. That's not at all what I want. Let's see. Some handy shortcuts. Control click is how you very quickly select things. Holding control and then holding shift and then dragging on a note. Like automatically creates a clone of whatever selected. Control X, get rid of it. Control C, Control V, copy paste. Control scroll is a very quick way to zoom. Let's see, does this work? Shift up and down is how you very quickly switch like what note it's on. Control up and down shifts it up an octave and down an octave respectively. Arpeggiators, do you want to be more fine-tuned? Use this quantization thing. You just click it and you can use it more freely. Right-click to get rid of it. I don't know why you'd ever need to go to 1/92, but you can. Just keep it at 1/16 because it keeps it simple. Let's see. Okay, cool. I think that's pretty much everything. Oh, right, controllers. Okay, controllers aren't something that you're going to use typically, but they're kind of fun. So, right here we have an LFO controller. I guess I'm just going to make a few more things. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Oh yeah, it loads this LMS loads things into this thing called Vestige. It's like a VST player, I guess. You can show hide the GUI using that button. Assign your shit to effects tracks here. Oh, you can do effects chains in the thing itself. That's cool. Okay. Turn that down a little bit. Okay, cool. Actually highlight all of these. Nope. If you want to get rid of something, either use middle scroll or middle click or shift right click. Let's see. Okay. Now, to fucking use a controller, you'd click this thing up here, the controller rack. We have our LFO controller, and I'm just gonna right-click something that I want to control. In this case, I want to maybe do the panning a little bit. I just right-click it, connect to controller, and I can use user controller, and it's already listed. So just press OK, and now you can see it doing this thing. I'm gonna automate, try up the things a little bit. Okay, so now when I play this, it should be shifting from left to right slightly. Cool. I think that's pretty much everything. I guess there is one more thing I guess we can talk about. So you see these, how I have these things here, but maybe I would just want something to like quickly connect them to. Well, that's what we call a bus. And how we do buses, and okay, I guess I should just explain that a little bit better. A bus is basically a mixer track that you have other mixer tracks going to, so you can like control them all at once rather than individually. So if I got like a bunch of drum things here, I don't want to edit them individually. I want one big mixer track that I can use to edit them all. So how do you do that? Well, in LMMS, you click this and you see these send buttons at the top. Well, you send this to drum bus, send that there. Also, when you're doing this, make sure to unselect from the master track, else it'll be playing twice, and you don't really want that, because then this will be going there as well. So you have two of the same things going to the master, which makes it twice as loud. So now that if I did that correctly, it should just be playing. I can lower the volume of this. Alright, I actually think that is everything for the most part. Should be noted that LMMS also has a built-in sound font player. Have fun with that. That's basically it. That's LMMS. That's pretty much it. Sorry if this got a little bloated. I'm not very good at explaining shit.